lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines, and most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, because I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. What is up, everybody? It is Monday. Corey Buchan over on YouTube. Happy Monday, all. Matt Dahl coming in over on LinkedIn. Happy Monday as well, Matt. Yeah, it is. It's a great day for freight, as we say over here at Freight Coach Logistics. It's a great day for freight, baby. John Brad Vansky over on YouTube. Glad to be here for the real side of freight. That's right, John. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's it was a great, it's been an interesting start to the year, right? Like, we, obviously we specialize in open deck and heavy haul over here. And it's, this start to the year, it was kind of slow. And it seems like things are starting to break free here. And I'm really enjoying that, right? And it also helps that the majority of the country isn't really being affected by weather or anything like that right now. So, we're able to push stuff out. We got freight, moving today. Got a last minute load. I literally just quoted it before the show, you guys. So you guys are going to, we might win some freight here live on the show like we like to do. And as always, you guys, I got that rate right up there for my friends over at Green Screens, you guys. I literally use them to quote everything that we move. They give us the most accurate real-time data for all of those last minute shipments that we all see out there every single day, you guys. Let me see here. Matt, what is up? Matt Selefsky, excuse me. Happy President's Day to you. Papa Freight, Stephen Tittle. Good Monday morning, gang. President's Day, so let's rock. That's right, my man. Amen to that, Stephen. Thomas Weird and Freight morning, y'all. Good to see you, Thomas. Yeah, you guys, again, things are popping off. I'm literally, just quoted off a couple of shipments here, and we're coming out the week. They're coming out the gates strong for the start of this week. Diesel, you guys, $4.10 a gallon nationwide out there. I get all of that information over on the EIA, you guys, EIA.gov. I think it's really imperative to really start taking account for how fuel is, if it's going up, if it's going down, where things are going. Because fuel is a big part of this, right? Obviously, it's the number one expense for a trucking company, but it's also, if you're out there bidding line haul with fuel from some of your customers, I mean, some of these things can drop, 3, 5, 8 cents a gallon over, overnight. Well, not technically overnight because it comes out once a week, but you guys catch my drift, right? So if you're going out there and you're quoting, and you're paying a carrier off of that and you're quoting a customer based off of that, it is one of those things where it can fluctuate really quick, you guys. So pay attention to that EIA.gov. And especially if you're out there bidding line haul plus fuel, it's good to see where things are trending. Also, I just saw this and I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. International Road Check. Our favorite couple of days out there of the year is May 14th through the 16th, you guys. May 14th through the 16th, International Road Check. Start paying attention to that because that always affects capacity and that always affects rates as well during that time. So if you've never been through a road check week as a driver, you might want to look into that and see what they are inspecting this year to make sure your stuff is up to date so you can go out and schedule that preventative maintenance right now and get ahead of that. If you're a broker and you've never dealt with International Road Check Week, it's challenging to say the least for the most part. Rates go up, capacity drops because people just don't want to deal with it because our friends over at the DOT, and I use the term friends loosely, aren't necessarily everybody's favorite during that week or ever, actually. So just pay attention to that May 14th through the 16th. Hi, Matt. I appreciate that. Said I crushed the pronunciation of that last name over there. What is up, Nick? Good morning, sir. Good to see you out here. And Brahim, good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in. Julia Castillo, good morning. Happy Monday. One Call Logistics, Julia in the house. All right, you guys. So today we got a couple of articles here talking about CDL driving schools recruiting people via social media, and then how the improving economy is going to help the M&A market. But before we do that, obviously I put a post out there this morning about cheering for everybody and the importance of that. And so I'm on 75 hard right now. If you guys are unaware of what 75 hard is, go to 75 hard's website, research it. It's the greatest program you could ever go through. This is my second time going on it, and it's day 50 right now at day 75. And I just woke up this morning because just like everybody, right? And we all have highs and lows. We all have up times, down times, everything else. But, one thing that I always want to focus on is like cheering for everybody no matter what. And especially when you're going through challenging times, because, at the end of the day, you guys, I'm developing a couple of companies and it's really hard. It's very, very challenging. But seeing my competitors out there doing well and gaining business and everything else, you need to cheer for that because it's so important to get out there and really want to see everybody win. Because I'm convinced winning attracts winning, right? And obviously, you got to work. I'm not going to say you just can't hope and dream that you're going to win and lose weight and do good, and like that doesn't exist. Like if you're out there actually putting in the work every single day, cheer for other people to win. And frankly, at the end of the day, it's going to help you so much mentally in this stuff because it's literally, building a business is literally the hardest thing ever. It is hands down the hardest thing I've ever done. Managing a P&L, managing receivables, and all of this stuff. And then on top of that, getting business, right? It's extremely challenging. And, it makes it a little bit better when you can just sit out there and actually feel gratitude and like happy for other people when they win. Because I'm convinced that if you do that and you're putting in the work, you're going to attract winning and you're going to attract success. And that's just one of my daily thoughts today on 75 hard. And again, you guys check it out. It is very challenging, yes, but it is the greatest program you could ever go through. And if you want to hear it, so I'm reading Andy Frisella's book right now. It's the book on mental toughness. You guys can see it right here. Go to his website and you guys can find it. He's the creator of the 75 Hard program and the Live Hard program. He's got a podcast called The Real AF if you want to find out more about it. But just it's very, very hard. But it's worth it, right? And there's a sense of satisfaction when you do hard shit, especially when you're going through challenging times and you're building and everything else. There's a lot to be said about that. And maybe I'll save a little bit more of that for my Thursday thought topic when I put that out there. But there is it's like a greater sense of satisfaction when you're having a really challenging day or a challenging week or month and you're still going up and accomplishing stuff, because it's like you really just got to look for the wins in any way you possibly can when it seems like your whole world is closing in on you. But all right, you guys, let's get into some articles here. As always, the links to the articles that I break down will be put up on the Freight Coach YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay, which is going to be available on iTunes and Spotify almost immediately after the show today. Let me see here. Sorry, customer. Hold on, you guys. We're winning freight live on the show. All right, hang tight here for a second. All right. As I always say, where else can you guys watch somebody? I'm not going to tell you what I'm quoting and who my customer is or anything like that, but where else can you guys see somebody doing this live, right? At the end of the day, I don't know of anybody else out there that is doing it. If there is other content creators that are out there that go live and then win freight live, introduce me to them. I want to meet with people like that because that's my kind of crazy right there. Stephen Tittle says 12 years in and you still have challenges, not just in the for years. Yeah, the challenges never go away, Stephen, and I've accepted that, and I'm fine with that, right? Like I'm here for it because I thoroughly enjoy the process more than ever. But let me see here. Thomas, what kind of freight? It goes on a flatbed. I'll tell you that. No, man, it's a job site that we're doing. We sent out a bunch of buildings, overdimensional buildings out there, and then after they disassemble them off the trucks and they place them in site, there's some components that they don't need because it's a finished construction site. So then we'll go in and send in some trucks to grab some of those components and ship them back in to my customer's place so they can reuse them for the next build and everything else that they're on. So it's a load of post holes. Yeah. There we go, Corey. It's a load of fresh Montana air. No. All right, you guys. First article, ttnews.com, CDL schools, driver training programs, focus on the right fit. Guidance often includes types of jobs available, how they pay, and what the lifestyle demands are. The driver shortage, which I don't subscribe to, but I'm just reading the article here. The driver shortage and turnover are top concerns within the trucking industry, and insiders contend schools and training programs play a critical role in attracting new entrants, educating applicants about the lifestyle challenges that come along with being a professional driver, and matching drivers with the right fleet. For the well-being of our industry, it is critical that CDL schools work to determine if someone is the right fit for the profession, and said Dave Dean, CDL coordinator at Patterson High School. I've had Dave on the show. Dave's a great guy. What he's doing at Patterson High School, I'm a massive, massive fan of. And he says part of the issue of our industry is facing is that too many people decide to pursue trucking strictly for the money, and the lack of passion is having a negative effect on our image and reputation. Jeremy Raymer, who is the founder of Driver Reach, a provider of driver recruiting software, said it's in everyone's best interest to set expectations. It's a great job with good pay, and it's always going to be in demand as long as you're alive, he said. The downside is you're going to be at the mercy of the type of the freight you're hauling, and options may be limited. Celeste Turner, a manager of a regional transportation training center, Hawkeye Community College in Iowa, on Wisconsin, said the school's staff meets with interested students to discuss their career and lifestyle goals, such as how often they want to be home and if they want to handle freight. Driving a commercial vehicle is not for everyone, Turner said. You don't have to go long haul, and you don't have to make it your lifelong career. We encourage the student to pursue the career that best fits their lifestyle. At Trainco Driving School, employers talk to potential students about over-the-road, regional, and local jobs, how those pay, their demands, said Vice President Mike Moskinski. And then, before I finish into those articles, I think that it's, we're at a really great time to be in the industry, right? Because we really need to focus on attracting people to the industry, and that it's going to come from people who are active in it, right? Like there's a ton of drivers out there that I follow on all forms of social media that talk about the industry, that have built, not only do they have a seemingly successful trucking company, but they have a successful media opportunity that comes along with it. And, I enjoy them going out there and following them because, like, frankly, I'm a little kid at heart when it comes down to it. I'm just at the end of the day, I'm just a kid who grew up in the trucking industry, who's infatuated with the sounds of the Jake brake and the smell of diesel fuel, right? Like I just turn into a little kid when I see that stuff. And, but not everybody needs to have that same level of passion and love to getting into this industry. Cause I know plenty of people who didn't even know how many wheels were on an 18-wheeler that are now in the industry and have fallen in love with it. But I think that you can have a lifelong career in this industry, but people need to do a better job of explaining the realities of the industry, right? Because it's not for everybody to be an over the road long haul driver, but that's not to say that they might not want to be regional, or even, they might even want to run local, right? Like there's a bunch of different opportunities that people can get out there. And I think explaining to them, and then frankly, I would love to see some of these fleets get involved with some of these CDL schools, right? And there might be. I'm not a subject matter expert on this. I'm just putting my opinion out there for this article that I'm reading. But I think that there needs to be a better job coming from the industry to attract people, but mainly retain them, because I don't think that there is, it's not the job that puts people away. And I'm talking about the actual work itself, the driving the truck. All right. It's all this ancillary bullshit that comes along with the trucking industry that seemingly most people don't want to address, i.e., the amount of disrespect that drivers face on the road. And now I know there's two sides to every coin here, but there's some pretty basic human necessities that drivers are not always given access to. And I'm saying this because it's like, if you pay attention to what's important to a driver and then what's important to some of these fleets on those top 10 lists that I believe TT News puts out every single year, there are two vastly different lists, right? And I think that that is something that you should probably pay attention to, because driver pay is something. Downtime is another thing too, so it's like, not only are drivers faced with a lot of this stuff, but frankly, at the end of the day, there's a lot of other stuff that goes into why a driver would choose to leave the industry or get out of trucking, right? And it's not the work itself. All right. I'm convinced of that, because you don't get into driving a truck and are shocked that you have to drive a truck. I truly feel like it's all this other stuff that drivers are faced with that they choose to leave the industry, right? And we're not even talking about all the rules and the regulations that are going on in the industry to make it harder for an owner operator to make it, or a small fleet to make it on top of that, right? So again, we as an industry, if we want this industry to change, we have to be the change, right? I'm trying my absolute best inside of my company to make sure every single driver that hauls a load for Freight Coach Logistics, when they're done with that shipment, they're like, damn, you guys are different. That's what I strive for on every single one, because we take care of them. We pay them when there's delays. We send over updated rate confirmations right away. We're calling shippers. We're calling receivers. We're verifying all this information. I want them to have as seamless as possible experience when they're working with us, because I want them to work with us no matter what. I'm going to do my part. My companies are going to do their part to improve the industry. And I would urge every single person who listens to this, if you want the transportation industry to change, look in the mirror and start with you. This article was listen, I love TT News. It's a good article. It's a longer article, so I'm not going to break it all down, but it's talking about CDL schools and driver training programs focus on the right fit. All right, here, let me see. Flo, good morning to you over on LinkedIn. Sydney Thiessen, good morning. She's coming in over on LinkedIn as well. All right, next article. Speaking of drivers with social media presences, ttnews.com. Social media platforms open fleets to newer recruiting pool. Social media is where a lot of people are. It's odd to read that and think that there was somebody who was saying this on a morning show a couple years ago, saying about how companies need to utilize social media to attract that next generation of driver, because that's where most younger people is on social media. I don't know who said it. I want to say he wears an orange shirt, though. I think that that's the individual who was saying it during that time. Anyways, I'm being completely facetious and sarcastic. It was me. I said it. No, I'm just playing. Carla Isted, good morning. Let me see. When he started driving for Ryder 2 years ago, Maurice Walker never thought he'd be a social media personality. Then Walker agreed to be featured on a driver testimonial on their YouTube channel. He says, I was shocked. It was my first day with the trainer, but I said, I'll see where it takes me. I was a little nervous getting put on the spot, but other than that, it was fine. And it was been viewed by 1,200. It's been viewed by 1,200 times. Dang, that's good. Fleets like Ryder are looking to use social media platforms to increase brand awareness. Abigail Lawson, a senior director for recruitment. If this turns into a massive Ryder recruiting or like a Ryder sponsored article, I apologize for that because I just think that social media is great for the industry. And then it goes on to say, successful social media campaigns tend to be attention getting, entertaining, humorous, and produced to connect with a broad audience. Popular accounts feature interesting characters discovered in the mechanic shop or fellow drivers that showcase their life on the road. Others interview long-term drivers and their careers and love for the lifestyle. And then if you are just using it as a big advertisement, it doesn't work, said Jane Jazerway, CEO of Carrier's Edge. She's been on my show in the past, and she may be on here again in the future. When you want to attract people, you just can't say, hey, it's great here, and we have these rates, and come work for us. Agreed. She said, a better strategy is to engage and involve the company's existing employees in creating videos and acting as a brand ambassador. If you involve your current drivers and create a community, it's much more powerful. Getting started with social media recruiting campaign doesn't have to be money or tech intensive project. Recruiters across the industry are launching successful campaigns. It starts with existing employees. If you have men and women who are drivers for you, they're already influencers. People who like their jobs and feel empowered by them tend to share the details online. You probably have a gold mine of influencers, whether you realize it or not. Here's literally all you need. Okay. At the end of the day, all you need is this right here, your cell phone. That's literally all you need to start creating content. Okay. I thought, and now I will say this, right? If you can afford, and this stuff is extremely expensive, right? Like this mic alone was $400. This mic arm is almost $200 in itself, right? The camera here, it was like $4,000 fucking dollars, you guys. You don't need it. If you can afford it, it is great to have, but you don't need it. You have a cell phone. Okay. That's all you really need. And just go out there. I would say this, if you're going to start creating content as a business, get the same handle across every social media platform: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, Facebook, everything. Get the exact same handle across all of them. And then just hit record, right? Just hit record and start. You don't need a massive production. I honestly think that it is it's almost better. And I can only speak from my experience, right? I've grown over these years through social media. I started off of a broken laptop and a podcast starter kit I got off of Amazon for like $200. And just start. All right, just start and build that up, because I think that resonates with more people. I truly do, right? Like, you don't need some massive production or anything like that. You just need people to hit record and put it out there, and then just get comfortable with recording yourself. That's all you need to do. Let me see here. And then it goes on to say, tracking the success of social media campaigns is different from traditional recruitment measurements. Not everybody will like a post, but if you have a ton of views and the time that they are watching, the videos will tell how they're engaged, and then track the shares, likes, and tags. I agree, right? So if you're looking at it from that perspective, I agree with tracking that stuff, but I would argue, so if your sole purpose is to recruit drivers or recruit people into your organization, and you only have 5 people who like it, but 2 of them apply for a job, I would say that that's an extremely successful campaign, right? I don't think that paying that much attention, because the majority of them are vanity metrics, right? If you're really getting down to the brass tacks of social media, more people are focused on the vanity metrics of how many people like my stuff, how many people commented on my stuff. as long as one person listens to this show and gets value out of it that they can apply to their business, that's all that matters to me, right? And I'm going to keep showing up every single day for that. And I think that if you're going to go out there and you're going to track your engagement, yes, I track my overall engagement now because I've been very fortunate to monetize my podcast, right? I am very fortunate to have advertisers for this. It took me a very, very long time and hundreds of episodes to get to where I am today, right? Like I just released, I'm almost at like 850 at this point, right? It took me a very long time to get to the point where I am right now. I utilize my metrics to show my overall growth, right? But I'm out here with a sole purpose of adding value. If you're going to go out there and do anything to create content for the first time, just focus on creating, getting comfortable, and then showing up the next day. All right. That's really all you need to do. You just need to start. You can go back in 2020 on my YouTube channel and see the very first video I posted. And, from my perspective, you just have to go out and get comfortable creating content. I think that it is an extremely valuable tool. Social media is something that is going to be around for the foreseeable future, and you need to get on it. You need to have a digital presence out there, and then build up off of that. And then they're right. Your team should be doing all the social media work for you in the sense of like, they're the ones telling the real story. Nobody wants to see the corporate, oh, I'm going to wear a suit to the same blue jacket and white shirt with red or blue tie that you see in every fucking corporate social media video that's out there. Get rid of that. Get your team, the people who are on the front lines in this one, the drivers, get them to start recording themselves. Post that out there. That's what's going to attract more people inside of your organization. But frankly, at the end of the day, you just need your cell phone. That's all you really need. You can get a decent mic, and then you can get some wireless microphones that are out there as well. If you want to have an easy upgrade, I use Rode Wireless 2 mics. They were like $300, and I can use them on my cell phone. I can record off of my cell phone where I have the video and the audio going from those mics, and it was $300. So really, at the end of the day, that's all you need to invest. Thomas says right here, a $50 mic upgrade for the phone and you're solid. I would agree. You don't need that. If you can afford some of these things, get them, because I wish going back, I would have just bought a lot of this stuff right away and just kind of figured it out, because I ended up spending more money on taking the cheaper route and then eventually upgrading. But if you can't afford it, you don't need it. All right. It's the message. It's the message that people are going to resonate with. And it doesn't matter if it's recorded on the microphone on your cell phone through that video or a Shure SM7B that I have right now. It's the message that people want. That's what people are going to resonate with. And I think that that's what you really need to focus on at the end of the day. That will be, sorry guys, my customer is responding right now and they are going to hold off. All right. Well, that's, you know what? That's part of the game, you guys. But it's just because they're going to hold off for a couple of weeks. They want to wait until the job site's finished. But hey, that is going to be it for today, you guys. As always, if you guys got value in what you heard, subscribe to the show, you guys. Share it out there to your network, because at the end of the day, this is how we grow. But most importantly, this is how we help more people, is because if you saw value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.